one of the highlight moments, one of the biggest moments was the last day of the expo on Sunday. After the rest of the speakers were done, we had a panel, and Jeff Nelson was kind enough to actually invite me up onto the panel, which I was quite surprised and very humbled by because I'm sitting there with medical professionals. Chef AJ was there. She was sweet. So I'm on the panel, and towards the end, after the questions from the crowd dry up, Jeff Nelson asks, does anybody from the panel want to ask another person on the panel a question? So I immediately grabbed the microphone and I said, listen, Dr. McDougall, this question's addressed to you. I'm going to play the clip for you right now.
This is for Dr. McDougall. There is a social media personality online that says Sprite is a good weight loss food, and the reason he says this is because he read a book of yours where you recommended refined sugar white rice as a staple in a diet. So he makes the stretch to say that you endorse or recommend something such as soft drinks. So what would you say to that, soft drinks being a weight loss food?
You know, what I'd say is that people often don't read what I've written. I know what you're referring to. People distort what you say. They distort the truth. Those of you who know me know exactly what I've recommended for 40 years. Over 13 books say the same thing. Every public statement that I've ever made has been exactly the same. What we teach is a diet based on starch. Heard that before? It's based on corn, rice, potatoes, beans, peas, lentils. Okay. In addition, which I certainly, even my staff argues with me about this, is we try and make the food taste good. And the reason we try and make the food taste good is so that people will eat it. And what people like, because it's built into their body, is they like salt and sugar. And there's now been discovered a seventh taste bud of attraction, which is a starch-based taste bud. So people are naturally designed, you know, the tip of your tongue, to enjoy salt and sugar. And if you're familiar with the new research that just came out from University of Oregon, they found the seventh taste bud where people are naturally designed, when you block the sugar-tasting taste buds, to really love starch, bread, and so on, beans and so on. So it's all built into our natural design. And what we've done for the last, in answer to your question, and happy that I'm getting some criticism because the way I've been dealt with is to ignore me. To answer your question is we have always taught, and still do, you should eat a starch-based diet with fruits and vegetables. We want that diet to taste good, so we encourage, maybe the correct word, or allow is the correct word. We encourage people to put brown sugar on their oatmeal, to use salt shakers on the table at our clinic, so that the food tastes good. It's like the Mary Poppins movie. A little bit of sugar will make the medicine go down. Is I want them to eat the food. And if I have to resort to put in 16 calories of brown sugar on their oatmeal or put in salt on the top of their spaghetti dish, I will make that sacrifice. But that's all we've ever recommended is salt and sugar for flavoring. And anyone who says differently is distorting my message, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
So as you guys can see, I confronted Dr. McDougall. I asked him what his thoughts were on a certain someone we all know who, saying that he promotes Sprite and white refined sugar and actually endorses soft drinks as a weight loss food. And Dr. McDougall said, anybody that's saying that is distorting my message and should be ashamed of themselves. The last part of that conversation, which actually didn't make it onto the video that was sent to me, he had said the very last word. He was like, they should be ashamed of themselves. And then he picked up the microphone and he was like, and you can tell him I said that yourself. And it was funny. It was a good moment. Dr. McDougall, I gotta say, he is like the godfather of the vegan medical experts. And low-key, he be trolling. He's not real obvious about it, but if you pay attention to his speech and if you pay attention to what he says when you're talking to him, low-key, he's got some trolling skills. Trolling game on point.